Just after 6 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, all the best stuff, all the real important stuff. Local news, Erin's next.
Let's talk trash and that garbage fee or tax, depending on who you talk to. A former teacher accused of raping children is due in court today. We'll have that as well. And the victim named in a Bossier shooting, was the homeowner justified?
So if I asked Erin McCarty, would it be a fee or a tax?
Oh, come on.
Did you see the text we got at about 5:30 this morning?
No.
You really did not?
No.
You did not, with a prediction for what happens at City Council today?
Oh, I can predict that too.
And maybe we were mentioned at the meeting yesterday.
Oh, were we ever?
Fletcher Sports, traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on KEEL.
KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Shreveport City Council members debating the proposed garbage fee. Grayson Butcher says he's just not ready to vote on it just yet.
Where I'm at today is I'm at a stepping off point, backing up and saying, hey, we may need to regroup here, but we need to do it with urgency. I mean, we can smell the smoke in the house, but we may not need to be running out right now.
The mayor wants an $18 monthly fee. There's an alternative of $13 or $14, and another measure calls for a $5 monthly fee, the item expected to be delayed during today's meeting. A former teacher accused of rape is due in court today. Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due in a Bossier courtroom. The judge looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary. Some of the assaults allegedly happened on the school campus. Norcross facing charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. 2 teenagers commit suicide at an area youth center. Matt Parker with that.
A 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, both from Bossier Parish, have committed suicide at the Ware Youth Center in Red River Parish. According to the Sheriff's Department, both teens used bed sheets to hang themselves. Investigators don't believe there is any connection between the 2 deaths and say it's just a terrible coincidence. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. Victim named in a Bossier shooting. Richard Williams named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier over the weekend. He was apparently intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. He went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door trying to break in when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. At this point, no charges have been filed against the homeowner, and the DA is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. The U.S. Supreme Court has blocked the Louisiana law that its opponents say could have left the state with only the Shreveport Clinic authorized to provide abortions. Attorney General Jeff Landry says the law requires the doctor at the clinic to have admitting privileges at a local hospital.
If you go into any to see your doctor and he administers a procedure under which he puts you under some type of local anesthesia, any other procedure in the state of Louisiana that you go to, that doctor is required to have admitting privileges.
But this temporary stay does not end the case. The High Court is likely to hear a challenge to the law on the merits during its next term, which begins in October. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards is not getting the financial boost he hoped would help pay for a teacher pay raise in his budget plan. For a 4th time, Republican House Speaker Taylor Barra blocked the income forecast changes for the coming budget year. that economists are recommending and that the Democratic governor wants. We'll get details later today on an agreement to prevent another partial government shutdown, financing construction of new barriers along the border. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans will spend more than $20 billion for Valentine's Day. Fewer are spending money on Valentine's Day compared to other years, but spokesperson Catherine Cullen says those that are making purchases are spending enough money to make it a record-breaking year.
Those who are celebrating are really committing to the holiday and spending more.
Cullen says people are budgeting to spend on average $162. A Maine man is locked up for being married to 3 different women in 3 different states. Since he's in jail, he'll not likely have to buy Valentine's this year. One of the women, though, says he scammed her out of $20,000. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The school campus.
Where Youth Center.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Tuesday morning traffic starting us off. Hey, it's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near the Cross Lake Bridge. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The KEEL app is always a free download and presented by Office Furniture Source. That's the KEEL app. Just mentioned it a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened yesterday? We got texts this morning from people who think they know, maybe people actually in the know. Yesterday, Shreveport City Council work session, and the proposed $18 a month garbage fee proposed by Mayor Perkins.
Tax.
So what?
Tax.
Okay, so the $18 a month garbage tax proposed by
It's
Mayor
going to get shot down.
Wait. Why do you say that?
Everybody on the dais was talking about lower fee. from the Nicholson $14 fee, I think he's proposed.
Nicholson was Nicholson 13.
13.
Yeah, wrote it down.
Fleury was 5.
Fleury was 5.
And the mayor said if we don't go something that brings in the $8 million or so, or $8.5 million, then his budget that he presents this fall would have to involve cuts to city services.
Right.
But our pal Reverend James Green, who represents the Moortown area, he has proposed implementing a fee for now, but going to the voters for a 1/4 penny sales tax increase.
Yeah.
Which would then fund the sanitation department.
We're already the highest, one of the highest sales taxes in the world.
And let me just say...
it's like trying to buy a car in Hong Kong.
I know. Let me just say to any member of the city council or the administration...
Yeah, you haven't made a public statement on this since yesterday.
No, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead.
If you think the voters of this city would ever give you another 1/4 penny of a sales tax, you might as well get in the ring with Conor McGregor and tie your hands behind your back, because you're going to take gut punches like you have never felt before.
You know, it's interesting for all the constant cries about sales taxes, any kinds of how it really harms the poor. Wouldn't the sales tax? Wouldn't they?
That's the worst thing to do to the poor.
If you buy into that, that is, and look,
they have no way to avoid that tax. They have no grandfather me in and pay mine.
The one thing that we've heard from virtually every city council person that's come in here is how that, just like in the water billing, there needs to be in the water department, if you don't know, there is some sort of, it's like a water bill subsidy.
Yes.
For how many people was it? I remember it was to the
2,000, something like that.
It was to the tune of $200,000 a year.
It was $200,000 a year.
I remember I don't remember the number of families and or meters and or households.
But it was $200,000.
But I do remember that the city of Shreveport meets out basically water subsidies to the tune of $200,000 a year.
You can't do that with a sales tax. You can't go to the grocery store and go, I'm poor. Can you not charge me that sales tax today?
So what's up with Mr. Green in this?
I don't know. I think he's a very wonderful man. He's been on the council a couple times before. I don't think he understands how regressive a sales tax is.
Wait. He and Stephanie Lynch have basically flippity-flopped that seat for what, 8, 12 years, whatever it works out.
Well, she was on the commission before. She served a long time on the Caddo Commission.
He was on the council. She was on the council. He's on the council.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So the point being, this is his second run with a 4-year gap. And when you went riding in the car that Saturday with Stephanie Lynch through her neighborhood, through her district, and met her constituents.
And I'll go with any of them if they want to invite me.
Would you at any level, pardon the bluntness of my phrase, would you at any level describe that as a Tony and or fancy neighborhood?
No, heck no.
Then when you say to me James Green doesn't understand who his constituents are, how can you say that?
No, I didn't say he doesn't understand who his constituents are. He doesn't understand the impact a sales tax will have on his constituents.
How could he not understand that?
I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised. I think when people mention a sales tax, they like the fact that out-of-towners will pay it. This will be paid by all these out-of-towners that come. But yeah, we pay it too, baby. I pay it too. Everything I want to buy. You know, all my socks to cover my 9.5 toes. I got to pay sales tax on that. Every last penny. And they don't charge me less because I have 9.5 toes. So we're going to lower your sales tax? I don't really have 9.5 toes. So
now we're getting into toe socialism.
Yes.
I go through garbage socialism yesterday.
Yes.
I go through water socialism. And now you embrace the concept of my argument in reference to your deformed feet.
Yes.
Holy cow.
I don't have deformed feet.
So what else happened yesterday?
lots of debate about recycling and whether or not that we want to even ditch that program altogether. Did have an interesting comment from Lavette Fuller, which we'll play in the news for you later, who essentially looked straight at the mayor and said, this is not a fee because you can't opt out. If people could opt out of paying it and go get their garbage service somewhere else.
So Miss Lavette basically looked the mayor in the eye and said, this is a tax.
She didn't say the T word, but she said the F word is incorrect.
So I'm not going to tell you it's a tax, but
But
telling
it ain't
you
a fee.
It's not a fee.
It's Vienna sausage, and you're disguising it as a filet mignon.
18 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, traffic and weather. Let's do traffic now. Fletcher standing by. Sports is on the way. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near the Cross Lake Bridge. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're Trina Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Huge game for Will Wade, 17th ranked LSU Tigers tonight. They pay a visit to 5th ranked Kentucky, who shares a 9-1 SEC record with the Bayou Ballers. Kentucky is 13-0 at Rupp Arena, a place LSU has not won since 2009. Tip time is just after 6 p.m. You can catch the game on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. James Harden scored 30 or more points in his 30th consecutive game to lead the Rockets to a 120-104 win over Dallas and Houston. Harden pumped in 31. The last three, getting him over that 30-point hump, occurred with less than a minute to play. Mavs rookie Luka Doncic had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. In high school girls soccer playoff action, Loyola advanced to the LHSAA Division IV semifinals with a 2-1 win over visiting Isidore Newman. Erin Campbell scored the first goal for the Lady Flyers, and senior Eliza Drummond netted the game winner. Parkway's girls were ousted in the D2 quarters by Neville 3-1. Maya Jackson scored for the Panthers. And top-seeded Byrd was upset at home by North Shore 3-2 in a Division I quarterfinal. Madeline Graham and Riley Walker scored for Byrd, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit to force overtime. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. You know, one of the interesting things to me, and Rush does it all the time, Rush Limbaugh does it all the time, is his producer. You know, if we had a better producer, probably it happens all the time and we just don't know about it.
Yeah. Snurdly?
No, I'm talking about Matt.
Oh, he's our Snurdly.
No, Snurdly is not his producer. He's like his, what does he call it? Program observer.
Oh, okay.
How many people do you think he has putting it? 20, 25, 30?
Yeah, at least. Minimum of 20.
Almost as many as we do.
Yeah.
No. Where he has the sound bites every day.
Oh, yeah.
From various pundits or
like number
analysts
143.
or
Give me number 143.
news
Yeah.
programs that mention him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it should be, and it makes him sound like hugely famous.
Sure.
Which, of course, he is.
Sure.
So this kind of happened to us yesterday, where we were mentioned. Give me the context of this, because it doesn't happen to us often.
It does, but we don't catch it on tape.
Is that what happened?
People talk about us a lot, but we don't catch it on tape. This time we got it on tape.
Better producer.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we don't have enough dump button delay for most of those audio bites.
Well, you got a point there, too.
Yeah, because they start out with Robert and Erin suck, and then it goes down from there.
Guy who's manning the desk at the Motel David.
This was during the discussion about the garbage tax, clean city tax, whatever you want to call it. Reverend James Green, who represents the Moortown community, he's back on the city council. He just got elected, but he's served before. He was talking about his proposal and his ideas, and one of his ideas was to approve the $5 monthly fee, but then phase that out after you go to the voters and ask them for a quarter-penny sales tax.
Just as an aside, did the Reverend Green mention what would happen with that $5 fee that you're going to phase out when the voters vote down your...
It would go off the books. Yeah, he said
no matter what.
Right, it would go off the books.
Gotcha.
Well, no. They'd have to pass the quarter-penny sales tax for it to go off the books.
In other words, if it's like tax extortion.
Yeah, it's tax hostagism. Yeah,
okay.
Something like that.
Hostagism?
Yeah, is that a word?
Yeah, it is. The Stockholmly effect.
Exactly. Are you calling me homely?
No,
And then Mr. Green had this to say to his colleagues.
I'll be ready to vote on that tomorrow. So that KEEL Radio won't have to come tomorrow.
Why would he say that? Why would he make mention?
Not that anybody here has been harassing him or anything, but I've been calling them all, texting them all pretty much daily. They're getting tired of it, I'm sure. Are you pointing at me?
No, I just got a little nervous
twitch
tick.
in your neck?
Yeah.
It goes back to that old Joe. What do you mean weak, Kemosabe?
I don't want to point fingers, but I keep in touch with them. I text them or call them.
I keep in touch
at 3 in the morning.
But you know what?
What's that?
Mr. Green and I have not talked since he got elected.
Interesting.
He hasn't returned a call.
No.
He hasn't returned a text. He hasn't called. I've just simply harassed him on a daily basis.
I've got the list.
Is that too much?
Fleury, Green, Butcher, Nicholson, Fuller, Bradford, Bowman.
Text his ass right now.
The city council people. Okay.
Pardon my language.
We send them texts specifically with this garbage fee proposal being so top of mind with everybody, and we have, I would say, on an average twice a week, texted each of them. You have texted each of them just to see if they had anything to say, any sort of updates, if they had any thoughts where they stood specifically.
Is it unreasonable to text a man at 6:45 in the morning?
And we have heard from each and every one of them, except for Reverend Green.
Yep.
And you have called the Reverend Green on a call. Now, you have played phone tag, if by your definition of phone tag is you get his answering.
Voicemail. Yeah. He did call me back once, and I think he got my voicemail, I believe. But I texted him Friday, 6:45 a.m., which said, do you expect a delay on Tuesday? And he has not replied.
You know, there's an old, what time did you text him the other morning?
6:45.
What time was that again?
6:45.
6:45. There's that old Jerry Seinfeld bit where he's at home and the phone rings and it's a telemarketer.
Oh boy.
And the telemarketer starts into the riff, into the pitch, and he says, "Hang on a second. I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah.
Could you give me your home number? And in a couple of hours I'll call you back because I really like to hear what you have to say. I just can't listen right now." The point being, no telemarketer is going to give anybody their home number.
Right.
Do you understand the analogy I'm making?
Yeah.
Do you kinda? Are you with me on this?
Just a smidge.
Is
the light blinking?
Is it coming into a little more crystalline focus, perhaps?
Is it incandescent or LED?
Yes,
I have an idea to maybe break Erin of certain habits. Next time she goes on vacation, we start calling her about 5:45.
Ooh.
I look forward to not speaking to the Reverend Green later today.
Oh. Should I call him again?
1017 FM, 710 Keel. Yeah, and then say we tried to get in touch. 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Local news just ahead. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near the Cross Lake Bridge. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're true to weather, good the Weather Channel.
Power of information. KEEL News now.
Two teenagers believed to have killed themselves within days of each other at a youth detention center in Red River Parish. The 17-year-old died Thursday night, the 13-year-old on Saturday night. They were at the Ware Youth Center in Coshada. Each teen took his own life in separate incidents. The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. The latest on the proposed garbage fee for Shreveport, well, a delay is expected today as the city council takes up the issue. One proposal calls for a $5 monthly fee, while the mayor wants $18. Mayor Perkins was asked what will happen if nothing is done.
If we have to try to supplement $8.5 million next year, considering inflation and healthcare costs alone, you're looking at a real cut of about 4%. So it's actually going to be a cut if we don't get anything passed. And yeah, we're going to have to look across the board at services.
Councilman James Green has also talked about possibly asking the voters to approve a quarter-penny sales tax. Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due in court today. The judge is looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary. Some of the assaults allegedly happened on campus. Norcross faces charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. The victim's been named in a Bossier shooting. Matt Parker with that.
Richard Williams has been named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier City over the weekend. Authorities say Williams was intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. William went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door and trying to break into the home when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. No charges were filed against the homeowner, and the district attorney is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The race for the governor's mansion now just 8 months away, with incumbent Democrat John Bel Edwards currently set to face off in a jungle primary against Baton Rouge businessman Eddie Risponi and Congressman Ralph Abraham. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says the race has been quiet so far, but is set to blast off soon.
30 days from now, 60 days from now, each month it'll increase probably twofold as far as the amount of money they're spending.
If no candidates get more than 50% of the vote in the fall primary, the top two will head to a runoff in December. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has told Louisiana's governor there was an error in the officiating that helped the Rams go to the Super Bowl instead of the Saints, but there's nothing he can do about it. President Trump told supporters gathered for a rally in El Paso that he's not giving up on his pledge to build a wall with Mexico. The president continued to insist that the barrier separating El Paso from Mexico had made the city safer, a claim, though, not supported by federal stats. And a jury has ruled that a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchisee must pay over $1.5 million to a former Delaware worker who said she was demoted because she wanted to pump her breast milk. She claimed co-workers and supervisors made it so difficult to pump during her shift that her milk supply dried up. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, who got flowers? Carter next door?
Somebody's bringing flowers in there. I don't know. He was whining because men don't get Valentine's gifts.
Nor should they.
You don't think they should?
Well, I'm just saying that trying to score points with some nebulous woman out there.
Oh, okay.
Robert J. Wright here once again for Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue. It is just a few days till Valentine's Day. And if you recall, our friends, our allies, our boys, at Louisiana Coin and Jewelry, they bailed a lot of guys out at Christmas time.
Oh, they can hook you up for Valentine's.
Okay, get a load of this. 15% off just about everything in the store.
Wow.
Not only if you go into the store on Line Avenue.
But you can order it online?
At LouisianaCoin.com, and you put in the code LOVE2019. Nice. Now, the amazing thing about the website is you can see virtually all of their inventory right there on their website. And you can make your purchase there, or you can stop by. Either way, you're saving 15% for Valentine's Day. Incredible prices on a wide range of gorgeous fine jewelry and bridal rings, watches, Kendra Scott stuff, and if you make a purchase, in fact, if you just stop by, you're entered to win a Valentine's dinner for two at Wine Country.
Nice. That is so cool. Those coin pieces they make, the jewelry, it is so gorgeous. Your sweetie will love getting one of those.
Save on incredible fine jewelry with diamonds and gemstones and pearls. I'm just running down the list here. Diamond stud earrings, pendants, rings, tennis bracelets, watches, truly unique designer jewelry, coin jewelry, like you just mentioned.
Love them.
And whether you go by the store and make your purchase. Hold on a second. Let me find it because they sent it to us yesterday about online where if you order it online, they'll gift wrap it for you. You can stop by the store and pick it up.
Wow.
Here's the deal. Once again, the website is louisianacoin.com. Enter the coupon code LOVE2019.
Love 2019.
How's that again?
Love 2019.
Very, very white there. Or you can stop at their store on Line Avenue. In fact, Louisiana Coin and Jewelry for Valentine's Day, 15% off, 15% off, just about everything in the store. Now, it is on Line Avenue in the corner of Uptown Shopping Center in Shreveport, online at louisianacoin.com. Traffic update coming up right now. I know what we're going to talk about next.
Uh-oh.
I got a crazy awesome email yesterday about global warming and the Green New Deal and stuff. Oh, wait till you hear this. Meantime, here's Ruben.
Start things off looking pretty clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, Good the Weather Channel.
Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Just after 7 o'clock, the Mayor Perkins. Can you tell I went to bed late last night?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Mayor Perkins' communications manager, Ben Riggs, will be in studio.
Yes, he will.
It's because we get him coffee. What are we going to talk about?
Let's see. I think we might talk about the Clean City fee. I think we'll do that.
There's that. There's a couple of other things.
Yeah. We'll tie him to the chair, see how long he'll stay.
I don't know.
You never know.
He's a pretty tall guy. Was he like 6'6" or 6'7"?
I think he's up there, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He'll be here at 7:10. So.
If you recall yesterday, I think it was in the 7 o'clock hour, I talked about the recently released by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democratic representatives from New York, and what was called the Green New Deal, what they're calling the Green New Deal, which would, among other things, get rid of, eliminate any kind of use of fossil fuels by the year, I guess it's about 2030. And that was so glommed on. Every single Democrat presidential candidate who has announced so far has endorsed the Green New Deal.
Have they really?
Which eliminates air travel, which eliminates fossil...
Wait. Eliminates air travel?
Yeah, well, by necessity. Because airplanes are contributing to...
So airplanes would be gone?
Yeah, by necessity.
So, how do you get to New York and stuff?
Fast speed. The government is going to subsidize light, fast rail travel.
But how do you get to London?
That they haven't covered that.
Oh, wow. Doing away with air travel.
She was interviewed by Anderson Cooper on CNN. She was interviewed on NPR. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, by the way.
Yeah.
And the question that never came up was, well, what about B-52s? How do we protect ourselves?
Yeah.
How does America defend itself against our enemies? That's just, it never comes up.
Oh,
I mean, it's
goodness.
insanity. In fact, it was crazy to the point that one of the Ocasio-Cortez aides went on the Tucker Carlson show on Fox, and it was receiving at that point such criticism, he denied that the Democrats, had put that out there. They said it was a fake Republican document, that Republicans had doctored it to make Democrats look bad.
Oh my!
Then the next day they went back and said, "Well, yeah, we put that on the website, but it was an early draft and we didn't mean to post it." So they are running from that. Now we got an email, because one of the things, and you and I have talked about this before, I brought this point up, that one of the things that the really, really radical, which is all of them come to think of it, global warming activists, greenies, leftists, socialists, call for is the elimination and or taxation on cows and sheep. Yeah.
Wait.
What?
Elimination of cows and sheep?
Well, the Green New Deal calls for the elimination of cows. I mean, that was in the original draft they posted.
So we just kill them and have a big barbecue one day?
They don't really get into much detail. They don't get into a lot of detail. The point I'm making is because cows are ruminants and because they belch and fart, a lot of CO2, that they must be eliminated to save the world. Now, there are about, what was it? I pulled the number up yesterday, and yes, I do. There are 1.5 billion cows on the planet. In America, there's about 94 million. So if we just eliminated all our cattle, like in that Star Trek episode, where people just walk into the machine and are eviscerated, that still wouldn't have much effect on the world's cow fart level, would it? Okay. An email yesterday. You ready? This is a fast.
I'm kind of scared.
No, it's great.
Okay.
Robert, you didn't provide enough information about the proposed FRA, Fart Reduction Act.
Oh, okay. FRA.
For us to make an informed decision as to support or oppose this legislation, we need to know the answers to the following questions. Well, I saw that, and I at this point, because it was a little late in the evening, I hadn't locked into the tongue-in-cheekiness of the email. So I'm thinking, well, there's really not that much information about it. It's just all these pie-in-the-sky leftist, socialist, utopian fantasies of how we'll all be miserable. Then I continued. Will all of the workers and their families currently depending upon meat and petroleum industries receive some kind of government welfare? Or will they be subject to mandatory late-term abortions? Wow. Will beef, veal, and mutton be allowed to be imported? Or will we all be forced to become vegetarians? Well, obviously, if there's no more air travel, and you can't have air travel out of the United States because planes will be banned. Then you can't have anything coming into the United States like airplanes or ships that run on fossil fuels. He continued. Will beef, veal, I covered that already, I'm sorry. Will the high-speed trains that are proposed run on solar power, or will all of the passengers have to pedal really fast?
Oh, it's a Flintstone train.
In reality, it's odd you mentioned that. You haven't seen that meme?
No.
You haven't seen the meme of Fred Flintstone's car?
No, I haven't.
On Facebook, and it says, the only vehicle that passes the test of the Green New Deal?
Oh, no.
Will natural gas be banned? Or will we freeze our butts off during winter months? Welcome to Venezuela, kids. Just a little colder. He continues, will farm machinery be exempt? It's a point I have made for a lot of years. And it goes back to when I think it was at this Pope, I think it was first talking about making his nutty statements about global warming, etc. And my response was, which of the harvesting machines that we in the United States use to feed the world would you like us to shut down first? Will farm machinery be exempt? Or will we have to reinstate slavery in order to have the necessary manpower to plant and harvest crops? Will all of the politicians be exempt from having to suffer through this insanity.
Of course they will.
Socialism's for the people, not for the socialists.
We will still have Air Force One. Don't get that any wrong.
As long as the Democrats fly in it. Will all of the politicians be exempt from having to suffer through this insanity, or will they have to live the agonizing lives like the rest of us?
Oh, boy.
Will we finally be allowed to begin catching and grilling those damned snail darters? Sincerely, Trey Harris.
Go Trey.
1017 FM. Emails always welcome, as are faxes. Texts via the Shreveport Security Systems text line 318. I got a fax yesterday.
Oh, my.
I got a fax yesterday.
Holy cannolis.
That's what it was, very top of mind.
Whew.
Maybe I'll get a telex later.
Maybe.
Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Ben Riggs from the mayor's office, communications manager, joins us just after 7 o'clock in studio. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Looks like I-20 eastbound's got it clear all the way to Monroe right now, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-220 westbound near the Cross Lake Bridge. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, the Weather Channel.
The KEEL app is brought to you by Office Furniture Source. Download the app today. KEEL.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL, Tuesday Morning Sports. Here's Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Huge game for Will Wade, 17th ranked LSU Tigers tonight. They pay a visit to 5th ranked Kentucky, who shares a 9-1 SEC record with the Bayou Ballers. Kentucky is 13-0 at Rupp Arena, a place LSU has not won since 2009. Tip time is just after 6 p.m. You can catch the game on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. James Harden scored 30 or more points in his 30th consecutive game to lead the Rockets to a 120-104 win over Dallas and Houston. Harden pumped in 31. The last three, getting him over that 30-point hump, occurred with less than a minute to play. Mavs rookie Luka Doncic had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. In high school girls soccer playoff action, Loyola advanced to the LHSAA Division IV semifinals with a 2-1 win over visiting Isidore Newman. Erin Campbell scored the first goal for the Lady Flyers, and senior Eliza Drummond netted the game winner. Parkway's girls were ousted in the D2 quarters by Neville 3-1. Maya Jackson scored for the Panthers. And top-seeded Byrd was upset at home by North Shore 3-2 in a Division I quarterfinal. Madeline Graham and Riley Walker scored for Byrd, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit to force overtime. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.1017 FM and 710 KEEL. Somebody asked me yesterday that Erin McCarty Dav Tack in Bossier thing is tonight.
It is not too late to get signed up.
What time is that, by the way?
Registration about 5:30. They're hoping to kick off the class at 6.
Let us assume for the moment, because this is sort of your introduction to handguns for women 2.0.
Yes.
Let's go back to 1.0 and explain to everybody
beginners
what
are welcome.
Go.
You can be a brand new gun owner. You can be really never owned a gun, never held a gun before, and you're good for tonight's class. They will start and teach you everything you need to know to become a gun owner.
Right.
And I was the most scaredy cat in the world when I first got my gun. And I got a little 380, and it's an easy strike gun, I think it's called. Learned how to load it and clean it and take it apart and aim and shoot. And we're going to shoot tonight. It is Dav Tack. You're going to learn everything from soup to nuts about your gun.
Now, it is the Valentine's Day is just a few days away. Tell me about their inventory out there.
You can buy a gun there. You want to buy a rifle, a shotgun, all kinds of pistols and handguns. Anything you think you want to look at or hold or try out, you can do it at Dav Tack. Think about the indoor shooting range and everything you can. They've even got the cool purses that are gun purses.
Yeah.
If your wife's looking for something like that, they've got the secret pockets in them. If you got a concealed permit, those are great too. Tonight's class,
what's the website?
davtac.com. And I hope you'll come out and join me for tonight's class. I'm looking forward.
Davtac.com. They're on Swan Lake Road,
Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. A cool place.
1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Here's Rush.
Last Thursday, officials in Nogales, Arizona passed a resolution. They condemn the federal government for installing razor wire on the border wall that runs through the city. The Nogales City Council complains the razor wire will kill people trying to get past it. They're also outraged that it looks like barbed wire. It's not aesthetically pleasing. Mayor Arturo Garino says that Nogales is a safe border town. There's no need for any barbed wire. He's threatening to sue the feds if they don't take it down. That's an NBC report from Thursday. Now, last Friday, CBS had a story from Nogales. Mayor Garino announced that the border to Mexico was temporarily closed. Apparently, a customs officer was forced to shoot a driver who refused to stop at the border and tried to run over the officer. No resolutions from the Nogales City Council about that. Even though people trying to kill our agents at dangerous border crossings isn't an aesthetically pleasing thing to do. So got to get rid of the barbed wire, but we don't care that an agent gets shot. Welcome to America 2019. Valentine's Day is coming up. Have you thought about it? It's right around the corner. If you want to splurge in your Valentine's Day gift giving, Sherry's Berries is the way to do it, folks. Delicious, hand-dipped strawberries, just irresistible. They're fresh from the field. They dip them in milk, white, and dark chocolate, and then top them off with colorful confections. The biggest strawberries you've ever seen. Sherry's Berries arrive at your Valentine's address perfectly packaged, so they arrive chilled and ready to serve. Half a dozen of them, just $19.99 plus shipping. Or you can double the amount to a dozen strawberries, just $10 more. I'm telling you, they are a perfect gift to share after a Valentine's dinner. Just go online to berries.com and select the date you'd like for delivery. Click on the radio microphone on the screen at berries.com. Use my name, RUSH, as the promo code. This deal ends today. Make sure you order by midnight. berries.com, promo code RUSH.
Looking right now at some slow-moving traffic at the intersection of Kings Highway and Line Avenue. And we have some traffic delays on East Texas Street near Benton Road and Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
KEEL Weather Channel forecast is 57 now. That's the high for today. Kind of cloudy through the day. Low tonight could be upper 30s to near 40. Right now, 57.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just after 7, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL and local news, and there's a ton of that, and Erin's getting it ready now.
Will the garbage fee pass today? The council is debating it. There's lots of discussion. A former teacher accused of rape is due in court today, and 2 teenagers commit suicide at a Red River Parish youth shelter.
Mayor Perkins' communications information manager is Ben Riggs. He's in studio going to talk to us about all of that stuff. All of that stuff in a couple of seconds.
Talking trash. Talking trash.
I think there's a company actually that's their slogan.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Value Bell, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Fletcher in Sports, free ads right here. Fletcher in Sports, traffic and weather, it's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
The KEEL Morning Report, now on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
The proposed garbage fee for Shreveport residents. It's the hot topic around the community. City Councilwoman Lavette Fuller says it's too soon to burden residents with an $18 monthly charge.
They don't trust us. We have not been open for a very long time, and we need to gain that trust back. If that means going back and saying, citizens, may we please, every year, then we might need to do that. Because right now, without an opt-out, this isn't really a fee.
Councilman James Green has proposed a lower fee on a temporary basis, but then asking voters for a 1/4 penny sales tax to fund the sanitation department. A delay is likely during today's vote. 2 teenagers commit suicide at a youth center. A 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, both from Bossier Parish, have committed suicide at the Ware Youth Center in Red River Parish. According to the Sheriff's Department, both teens used bed sheets to hang themselves. Investigators don't believe there's any connection between the 2 deaths and say it's just a terrible coincidence. The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. Victim named in a Bossier shooting. Richard Williams named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier over the weekend. He was apparently intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. He went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door trying to break in when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. At this point, no charges have been filed against the homeowner, and the DA is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. Former teacher accused of rape is due in court today. Matt Parker with that.
Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due back in court today. The judge is looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary School. Some of the assaults allegedly took place on the school's campus. Norcross faces charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The race for the governor's mansion now just 8 months away, with incumbent Democrat John Bel Edwards currently set to face off in a jungle primary against Baton Rouge businessman Eddie Risponi and Congressman Ralph Abraham. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says it's a governor's race in an off year. No federal races will be on the ballot, but it comes just a year before the 2020 national election that will be in full swing by the time Louisiana voters go to the polls. Pincinat says he expects the national climate to bleed over and mix with local issues.
There'll be some Trumpism in the background. There'll be about conservative values, electing a Republican. And it'll be about John Bell stabilizing the budget and funding higher education and health care.
If no candidate gets over 50% of the vote in the fall primary, the top 2 will head to a runoff in December. The Louisiana Ethics Board set to reconsider its decision that candidates for public office cannot use campaign funds for campaign-related child care. The Advocate reports the board is set to hear the appeal of the November ruling on Friday. The tentative agreement to fund the federal government through the fiscal year gives President Trump far less money than he sought for building a border wall with Mexico. The deal hammered out last night provides nearly $1.4 billion, not the $5.7 billion the president had demanded. It's almost Valentine's Day, and at Towson University in Maryland, a mother's been trying so hard to find a date for her son that police are concerned. A woman in her 50s wearing a multicolored scarf has been approaching students in 2 campus buildings, showing them a picture on her cell phone of her son and asking the girls if they would like to date him. Police have told her to cut it out. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Traffic update now. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. And we just received reports of some heavy backed-up traffic on Highway 157 between the stoplight and Houghton and the I-20 exit. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Don't forget about the KEEL app. Sounds awesome. Free download presented by Office Furniture Source. Joining us for a little bit is the gentleman who is the communications manager for Mayor Adrian Perkins. Mr. Ben Riggs is here. How have you been? Welcome back. Been a whole week. What the heck, man?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Tell me about the city council meeting yesterday. What did you think?
Oh, I thought we were here to talk about that new nonstop service coming out of Shreveport to Destin. We're going to jump right into Shreveport.
You dirty rat.
I saw, and we may, if we have time, get to that later.
Yeah,
but I did mention to Erin that in the mayor's SB magazine article, I would say there was probably 25, maybe 30% of that article was toward his plans for the airport to upgrade the airport back to international status. And we can, in fact, talk about that in a couple of seconds. But
the fee.
City council meeting yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Going to be delayed today?
No, I do not believe it'll be delayed today.
Killed today?
No, I do not believe it'll be killed today.
Passed today. That's the only other option.
What passes?
Well, you could be looking at potentially an amendment coming up that pushes it to 2 more weeks where there'd be a final vote. But I do not believe that the Clean City user fee is going to be killed or tabled.
How much is? I know Mr. Nicholson's proposed, I believe, $13 or $14.
$13.
Mr. Fleury's proposed $5. Which one is palatable to the mayor, I guess?
The $5 fee is not palatable to the mayor. The proposal was it was difficult to follow in the council meeting, but I think it came out as 5 and maybe even worked up in real time to like 7 or 8 or something like that. And then there was some talk of a sales tax somehow being attached to that. The mayor's not interested in a sales tax. And to be honest, I think that's using sales tax to pay for sanitation is part of the reason why we are where we are. When you pass a sales tax, that money can just be spent in any way, and then it doesn't end up going to fund sanitation, which is how it's been done for years here. Whereas when you pass a service fee, a user fee, the money's allocated for the service that it's associated with. And so it enables the service to sustain itself moving forward.
I don't think in the mayor's legislation, the original proposal for the $18 fee, there was anything about an enterprise fund. How does the mayor feel about that? Because most of the council people are saying we want it to be designated for sanitation only.
The mayor's original proposal was not in an enterprise fund. As far as the mayor's feelings about the enterprise fund, he made them pretty clear in the council meeting. He said that an enterprise fund is a little more burdensome to Shreveport residents because an enterprise fund's essentially like turning sanitation into like a little city-owned business.
Pardon me, I don't mean to be smart-ass. Burdensome to the people of Shreveport or burdensome to the mayor?
Burdensome to the city of Shreveport, to the residents of Shreveport, to you, to Erin, to everybody, because as an enterprise fund, it has to sustain itself. It can't be subsidized from the general fund, and so it has to have its own reserves. So the fee has to be a little higher in order to have money going into the reserves.
But a critic of that idea would say, that argument would say, okay, but if it's not in an enterprise fund, then it goes into general and can be used for virtually anything. Fair?
No. Because in the general fund, it would still be a line item for revenue that shows exactly where the revenue's coming in from that fee, and that every penny of that money will be spent to fund curbside solid waste collection.
The mayor said yesterday during the meeting that if we don't move in this direction, that he will be forced to cut services when he puts his budget together this fall. I think that's a direct quote.
If not, very near.
Right. What services can we cut? What's
so
there
let's
to cut?
Let's talk about why he would be forced to do that. So apart from his general philosophy, he wants to be a fiscally responsible mayor. Set that aside, and that's a huge thing for him. But there, even beyond that, there are reasons that we have to make those cuts if we don't. So there was talk yesterday about how we have a balanced budget. We do not. 2019's budget was not balanced. The last budget adopted by the council and the administration was $213 million in revenue, $219 million in expenses. That's not a balanced budget. They covered the gap by pulling money from the reserves. There's not enough money in the reserves right now. If you wanted to do the exact same thing, which the mayor does not, there's not enough money in the reserves to cover that gap, and the gap will be bigger this year than it was last year because expenses go up because of health care, pensions.
But what cuts do you think he'd have in mind? Where would he start?
I think we would be looking at cuts across the board. We're not talking about getting rid of one of the merry-go-rounds at the park. We're talking about
employees,
possibly sanitation. We're talking about potentially in police and fire. We're talking about critical services in the city budget that the mayor would have to cut.
This isn't like a John Bell Edwards, we're going to get rid of LSU football kind of threat, is it?
No. And
this is the real deal. I mean, we're not playing now.
We're just talking about black and white numbers. As far as like whether or not this is an empty threat, we're saying that there's $213 million in revenue, $219 million in expenses. The stopgap that's been used in the past is to pull money from the reserves to duct tape over that. We're out of duct tape. We can't duct tape it this time. There has to be cuts. And when you're talking about that type of gap, and remember the gap's growing larger because the expenses are getting bigger. That's a lot of duct tape. We're not going to be able to, people often say, well, cut services, scrub the budget, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about little bitty things here. We're talking about significant services that might have to be cut. That's why there's a sense of urgency in the mayor's voice.
You had described the mayor as fiscally responsible. You said this is a fiscally responsible mayor. And his number was $18 a month. How much less than that remains fiscally responsible?
So the mayor's feelings about Councilman Nicholson's proposed $13 enterprise fund is that, like I said earlier, it's a little more expensive in an enterprise fund. So the mayor thinks that $15 is the number if we're putting in an enterprise fund. If we're going to keep it just in the general fund, the mayor thinks that we can work with somewhere around 13.
We would still have
13, maybe a little more.
The mayor's completely against the quarter penny sales tax.
The mayor doesn't want to tax the citizens of Shreveport. Moreover, I believe the sales tax is currently at 2.75. Is that right?
Yes.
Quarter cents would bring us to the
3.
state ceiling. You can't
Okay.
go over 3. I mean, like, we already have a very high sales tax in the city of Shreveport. We'd be bringing it to 3, and you wouldn't be able to raise it above that.
Ladies, gentlemen, let's take a short break. We'll be back with more with Ben Riggs, Mayor's Communications Manager, in just a couple of seconds. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on North Market near North Hearn Avenue. And we just received reports of some heavy backed-up traffic on Highway 157 between the stoplight and Houghton and the I-20 exit. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, Good the Weather Channel.
.107 FM, 710 Keel Sports Update. Here's Fletch.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Huge game for Will Wade, 17th ranked LSU Tigers tonight. They pay a visit to 5th ranked Kentucky, who shares a 9-1 SEC record with the Bayou Ballers. Kentucky is 13-0 at Rupp Arena, a place LSU has not won since 2009. Tip time is just after 6 p.m. You can catch the game on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. James Harden scored 30 or more points in his 30th consecutive game to lead the Rockets to a 120-104 win over Dallas and Houston. Harden pumped in 31. The last 3 getting him over that 30-point hump occurred with less than a minute to play. Mavs rookie Luka Doncic had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. In high school girls soccer playoff action, Loyola advanced to the LHSAA Division IV semifinals with a 2-1 win over visiting Isidore Newman. Erin Campbell scored the first goal for the Lady Flyers, and senior Eliza Drummond netted the game winner. Parkway's girls were ousted in the D2 quarters by Neville 3-1. Maya Jackson scored for the Panthers. And top-seeded Byrd was upset at home by North Shore 3-2 in a Division I quarterfinal. Madeline Graham and Riley Walker scored for Byrd, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit to force overtime. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. Another segment with Mayor Adrian Perkins, Information Communications Manager Ben Riggs.
Can I ask you a dumb question?
Sure.
Which most of them are, but anyway, here's a real dumb one. The water department tells us that they inspect 81,000 meters. Okay? That when y'all did the big thing last week, they said, or 2 weeks ago, we check 81,000 meters each month. And we're now basing this fee that it's going to be 65,000. People are going to pay the fee. Is it that many vacant houses for those meters? What's the discrepancy in those two numbers?
I would have to look at what we're talking about with the water meter reading numbers. That's not the number I have. In fact, I tracked that number down for a resident that I spoke to at the town hall Friday night. I tracked the number down yesterday, and I think the number that I had was 71,000 or high like 60s or something like that. But yes, there are several thousand vacant homes.
Okay. So they wouldn't be paying the fee?
No.
Gotcha.
Right now, what is it? Under the current setup for garbage fee, sanitation, etc. It's $8.4 million per annum that comes out of the general fund, right? If you went with Nicholson's $13 a month, that would bring you in about $10 million. So you've got $10 million new dollars. That is above and beyond what the 8.4 that comes out of the general fund. What are we going to do with that 8.4, which is actually closer to 10 million because you're making an extra 2 million almost with the $13 fee?
Well, so the 8.4 million is already a little higher because of the loss in revenue that we had at the landfill.
Well, then, for the sake of our argument, for the sake of our story, let's call it a push.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got a new $10 million to replace the old.
But in
$10
the
million.
enterprise fund, it's not going to be a push because enterprise funds have to keep their own reserves, 30 days operating costs. So you're looking at an additional 1.5 million in that enterprise fund. So what do you do with
the money that's still in the general fund that will be replaced by the new fee?
Well, so that was a contentious point, or a point of contention yesterday in the city council meeting. The mayor, being, like I said earlier, fiscally responsible, wants to move a large portion of that into the reserves and start to prepare the cities start to put the city back on a path towards fiscal responsibility. Our S&P, one of our credit rating agencies, it prescribes, I think it's 8% 30 days operating costs, which is about $15 million for our reserves.
That affects the city how? Explain that.
So, for example, if S&P looks at us and says in their previous report, and Moody's, once again, just the other day, gave us a new report, and both of them say that the city's reserves are dangerously low. And so that's one of the main things they look at.
Our bond rating,
yes,
i.e.
absolutely.
the interest we pay.
Yeah, absolutely. It costs us more money to borrow money for things we have to borrow money for. Yeah. But in addition to that, S&P also updated their recession odds, pushing them from 15 to 20% in the year 2019. And in a recession year, states would start to cut aid to cities, and you'd start to have to fund more of that.
Have you looked at anything, any alternatives? Like bi-weekly garbage pickup, doing away with commercial garbage pickup, anything like that to offset how much we need to bring in?
The vast majority of our trash collection is residential trash collection. That's almost all the cost. And then when you look at bi-weekly trash collection, like I said when we were here last time, I mean, some people are okay with that because they don't produce enough. Some people would end up with trash bags stacked on top of their trash cans because there's just they're not being picked up enough. When you're dealing with 66,000 households, it's prudent for us to split the difference and stick with what we're doing.
Currently there is, what did we hear? It was about $200,000 a year that the city picks up in sort of water subsidies for people who aren't able to pay their water bills. This would be attached, whatever fee, if there is a new garbage fee, would be attached to that water bill. Is there any kind of subsidy plan in place, either from the mayor's side or from the council side, that would help people who can't afford the $150, $175, $200 a year more?
Yeah, so SWAP, the Shreveport Water Assistance Program, is what provides qualifying residents with some sort of assistance on their water bill. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head as to how many people actually use that program.
Who told us it was $200,000? Was that
you sent it? The $200,000 was the amount. but I can't remember if it was 1,200 or 1,500 residents took part.
Yeah, so there are more people who qualify for it than actually use it. And so I think one thing that we need to do is do a better job of letting residents know that that assistance is available to them if they need it. And that's something that we've talked about and all agree
and
upon.
So that was something that was built into this plan all along, was paying trash subsidies in the same way that the city covers water subsidies.
Well, so the idea would be, it's not so much paying a trash subsidy as much as it is that there are certain residents who just wouldn't be able to pay for that, and their water could potentially be cut off, and that's an essential need. And so we do need to make allowances for those people, and the Shreveport Water Assistance Program is the best way for us to do.
Would that be expanded with an expanded garbage fee?
So I don't know that it needs to be expanded. The mayor and the council members are currently talking about that. However, what you have is more people who qualify for it currently than are actually using it. So I don't know that it needs to be expanded as much as it needs to be advertised.
The mayor's pushing for this to move forward quickly. If there's a delay, I'm told there may be a delay today for at least 2 weeks. Some are saying even longer. If there is a delay, at what point does he have to, take the train down another track?
Well, so the mayor is willing, and more than willing, he's working with council to arrive at a compromise that will work. And he remains confident that we're going to get there, if not today. If it goes to an enterprise fund, we will be coming back in 2 weeks to vote on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's certainly on the table. As far as it just being tabled or postponed indefinitely, the mayor is not, what he's not willing to do is just inaction. Inaction is not a possibility for him. So if we're not able to pass a clean city user fee, then once again, we're going to have to circle back and cut the budget.
Ben Riggs, Mayor's Communications Manager, thanks for coming in.
Thank y'all for having me.
101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Erin, local news just a couple of seconds away. Traffic update now for Tuesday. Here's Ruben.
We have reports of a minor accident on I-20 westbound near Monkhouse Drive. And we're dealing with some backed up traffic on Barksdale Boulevard northbound near Sligo Road due to construction in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, Good the Weather Channel.
Information. KEEL News now.
2 teenagers believed to have killed themselves within days of each other at a youth detention center in Red River Parish. 17-year-old died Thursday night, the 13-year-old on Saturday night. They were at the Ware Youth Center in Coshada. Each teen took his own life in separate incidents. The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. The latest on the proposed garbage fee for Shreveport, well, a delay is expected today as the city council takes up the issue. One proposal calls for a $5 monthly fee, while the mayor wants $18. Mayor Perkins was asked what will happen if nothing is done.
If we have to try to supplement $8.5 million next year, considering inflation and healthcare costs alone, you're looking at a real cut of about 4%. So it's actually going to be a cut if we don't get anything passed. And yeah, we're going to have to look across the board at services.
Councilman James Green has also talked about possibly asking the voters to approve a quarter-penny sales tax. Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due in court today. The judge is looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary. Some of the assaults allegedly happened on campus. Norcross faces charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. The victim's been named in a Bossier shooting. Matt Parker with that.
Richard Williams has been named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier City over the weekend. Authorities say Williams was intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. William went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door and trying to break into the home when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. No charges were filed against the homeowner, and the district attorney is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The race for the governor's mansion now just 8 months away, with incumbent Democrat John Bel Edwards currently set to face off in a jungle primary against Baton Rouge businessman Eddie Risponi and Congressman Ralph Abraham. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says the race has been quiet so far, but is set to blast off soon.
30 days from now, 60 days from now, each month it'll increase probably twofold as far as the amount of money they're spending.
If no candidates get more than 50% of the vote in the fall primary, the top two will head to a runoff in December. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has told Louisiana's governor there was an error in the officiating that helped the Rams go to the Super Bowl instead of the Saints, but there's nothing he can do about it. President Trump told supporters gathered for a rally in El Paso that he's not giving up on his pledge to build a wall with Mexico. The president continued to insist that the barrier separating El Paso from Mexico had made the city safer, a claim, though, not supported by federal stats. And a jury has ruled that a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchisee must pay over $1.5 million to a former Delaware worker who said she was demoted because she wanted to pump her breast milk. She claimed co-workers and supervisors made it so difficult to pump during her shift that her milk supply dried up. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
FM, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Robert here once again for Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little initial here. I want you to tell me what this abbreviates,
okay?
Because you've heard it before, and I'm sure you'll know, but I think probably you'll be wrong. MVP. Think carefully before answering. MVP.
Most valuable player. No.
Male Valentine's panic.
Uh-oh.
Something that virtually every man right about now, it's beginning to creep into your lifestyle.
Do you know you're supposed to spend $162 at least on your Valentine?
What? No,
That's
I
the
didn't.
national average.
No, I didn't know.
You
about
better
that.
get off your butt and start spending.
Well, you know what? If you're going to spend 162 and you want the most for that 162 that you could possibly get, it's time to stop by Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue.
I can get some good stuff for that there.
Listen to this. Shop today through Valentine's Day. Today, tomorrow, even Thursday, and save 15% off a wide variety of items, including, well, you know what they've got. They've got watches, they've got jewelry, they've got bracelets, they've got diamonds, they've got pearls. The list goes on and on. 15% you will save the moment you walk in the store. It's like slashing 15% off your bill.
Or you can buy it online too, right?
Odd you would mention that. Online, you can see virtually their entire inventory at louisianacoin.com. That's louisianacoin.com.
Put the special code in, LOVE 2019.
What was that again?
LOVE 2019.
They can even have it gift wrapped and ready for you to pick up. Suffer ye not from MVP male Valentine's panic. Stop by or look online. It's Louisiana Coin and Jewelry on Line Avenue in the corner of Uptown Shopping Center. Tell them you heard about it on KEEL. They're right here in Shreveport on Line Avenue or online at louisianacoin.com. So, what did you think? Wait, we'll talk about it when we get back.
Okay.
And there's lots to talk about today.
Oh, a lot.
And you're trying to get in touch with people on your cell phone. And
I'm getting shut down today.
you know, I don't know how to break this to you. People have lives. They have families.
What the heck?
They have kids.
Stop that life.
They have jobs.
Get on my merry-go-round.
Let's get some priorities, people.
You got a
Answer
point.
those Erin McCarty
Yeah.
calls. 101.7 FM. The look on Matt's face. 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Ruben's ready.
We have reports of a minor accident on I-20 westbound near Monkhouse Drive, and we're dealing with some backed-up traffic on Barksdale Boulevard northbound near Sligo Road due to construction in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, Good the Weather Channel.
I don't know if you ever remember me 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. I don't know if you remember me ever telling the story. And I mentioned this to someone in the office yesterday because I almost didn't go on the radio yesterday morning.
Really?
Because I had a smudge on my glasses.
Oh, gosh.
And I thought, I can't possibly work today. There's a smudge on my glasses.
Such a doofus.
And I thought, no, drag it in there,
Yeah.
play hurt, suck it up,
You
be a
can do
man,
it.
don't be a prima donna. And I got to thinking about the most prima donna-esque things in radio. I mean, imagine what your reaction would be if I came in here and I said, look, I'm not going on the air this morning. Your first reaction would be, are you sick?
Yeah, are you okay? Yeah.
And then I would say, no, I have a smudge on my glasses.
You don't even know how much abuse you would have taken.
And if I literally refused to go on the
Oh,
radio
man.
because there was a smudge.
Oh, my God.
What kind of operatic
Oh, wow.
prima donna?
I would have toasted and roasted your butt.
You would actually probably have gotten angrier than I have ever seen you be angry.
Oh, I would have been angry.
Once you realized I was serious.
You have a smudge on your
I
glasses.
can't
and
go
you're
on the
not
radio because
gonna-
I can't see. I have to clean my glasses.
Man.
Unless I go home, and once I'm home, there's no reason to come back.
I would have taken the glasses and cleaned them, and then if you still griped, I would have thrown them against a wall.
So my question to you is, in all your years in radio, what was the most prima donna-esque thing that you've ever seen someone do? Or does anything pop into your mind?
I'd have to think about it a minute because I've seen a few things.
When I was in New Orleans, I told Dusty and a bunch of guys this story. And I don't know if you guys know who Gary Burbank is. And he worked for a long time. He was in New Orleans. He worked in Detroit. He was a Louisville, Kentucky legend. Then he went to Cincinnati at which is the one in New Orleans? WWL? Is that New Orleans?
WWL
Okay,
is,
then it's
yeah.
WLW in Cincinnati.
Okay.
And he was there for about 20 years. Literally became a multi-millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
When I was doing the overnight show at WNOE in New Orleans, back in the early, he was doing the morning show. And he... I've told you this before.
Yes.
He came in one morning, and he would come in, and he would put his stuff in his office, and he would come to the studio and say hello. He and I never had a problem. We got along fine.
Mm-hmm.
He was in his mid-30s at the time. I was like early 20s. So to me, he was a grown-up.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I didn't really start to think of myself as a grown-up till I hit about 45.
Right.
But that's more my problem than anyone else's.
Yeah, that's counseling.
So he comes in one morning, puts the stuff in the office, comes in and says hello, and goes down to the coffee room, the DJ lounge, to make coffee. And he comes into the studio, and he looks at me and says, call Bill Thomas. Bill Thomas was the general manager.
Okay, big boss.
And he says, call Bill Thomas. Totally stone-faced. He says, call Bill Thomas. You tell him there's no creamer for my coffee. That as soon as there's creamer for my coffee, I'll come back to work. And I thought he was joking because he was a very funny man.
Mm-hmm.
But this was not his style of humor.
Right.
But I thought he was joking.
Mm-hmm.
Call Bill Thomas. Call the general manager. You tell him that there's no creamer for my coffee. You tell him when he gets creamer for my coffee, I'll come back to work. Now, we were downtown in the French Quarter, actually, on Bienville. 520, it's 523 or 529, I forget. And we all parked in a courtyard behind the building in the French Quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And the studio, the back window of the air studio, looked out back over the courtyard. And I get up, because there's a song on, and I look out the back window, and he's pulling his car out.
He's leaving.
He's really leaving because there's
no creamer for his coffee.
No creamer for his coffee.
Ooh.
He's gone.
And now you have to decide whether you call the general manager at 5 blah blah in the morning.
At this point, there were two people in the building.
Oh.
Me, who's like 21, and a guy named Len King, who was news director, who was maybe 35 or 40. He went on to CNN. The point being, I have to call Bill Thomas, the general manager. If I think a 35-year-old man is an adult, imagine how intimidated I am.
Oh, you're shaking.
By a 50-year-old man who wears a tie to work every day.
And you're calling him at that ungodly hour.
And I've got to call at about 5:45 in the morning. And I literally am shaking. And I call, and he answers, and it's, like when you call council people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was, mama.
Boo-boo.
That was it. Mama, Mr. Thomas. This is. And I'm freaking out. And I explained to him, in way too long than it should have taken, that his highly paid morning guy has come in, seen that there's no creamer, and has gone home. And there's a pause on the phone. And Bill Thomas, the general manager, says, how many people are there right now? And I said, two, me and Len, the news director. And he said, here's what I want you to do. I want you and Len to get together and decide which of you is going to get Gary his creamer. Click. Now, I was 20.
So when you got back with the creamer, Bob, what happened?
I was 21 years
Oh,
old.
God.
And this was far before the term juice.
Oh, that was juice.
As in, he's got a lot of
Oh,
juice.
yeah.
Came into vogue. But at that moment, I understood, as I had just learned firsthand, what real radio juice
Oh, that's juicy.
really was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's big juice.
So Glenn and I got together, and since I was on the air,
Yeah.
he decided, since he had breaks between newscasts, he would run up to the nearest grocery store, get Gary his creamer. I called Gary, told him Len had gone to get creamer. He was back in the studio by 6:30.
Wow.
All's well that ended well.
Oh, man.
And I learned a life lesson.
Mm.
You know what I don't have?
Juice.
Juice. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Your money now is just a couple of seconds away. Brought to us by Barksdale Federal Credit Union. Traffic update, here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some backed up traffic on Benton Road just north of Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Getting colder today. Temps dropping to about 35 tonight. Right now, 55 at Keel. .107 FM 710 Keel Sports Update. Here's Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Huge game for Will Wade, 17th ranked LSU Tigers tonight. They pay a visit to 5th ranked Kentucky, who shares a 9-1 SEC record with the Bayou Ballers. Kentucky is 13-0 at Rupp Arena, a place LSU has not won since 2009. Tip time is just after 6 p.m. You can catch the game on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. James Harden scored 30 or more points in his 30th consecutive game to lead the Rockets to a 120-104 win over Dallas and Houston. Harden pumped in 31. The last three, getting him over that 30-point hump, occurred with less than a minute to play. Mavs rookie Luka Doncic had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. In high school girls soccer playoff action, Loyola advanced to the LHSAA Division IV semifinals with a 2-1 win over visiting Isidore Newman. Erin Campbell scored the first goal for the Lady Flyers, and senior Eliza Drummond netted the game winner. Parkway's girls were ousted in the D2 quarters by Neville 3-1. Maya Jackson scored for the Panthers. And top-seeded Byrd was upset at home by North Shore 3-2 in a Division I quarterfinal. Madeline Graham and Riley Walker scored for Byrd, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit to force overtime. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so we were talking about prima donna stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so you worked at a station where the morning show guy's wife was so jealous that he was not allowed to be in the same studio.
Mm-hmm. The overnight person was a female, and she had to pick up all her stuff. You know, this was back in the day with that, when we had albums you brought in there and all that.
Yeah.
Had to pick up all her stuff, and she had to leave the room and go into the jock lounge through a door that he wouldn't be using. She had to go into that door, and then he would come out the other door.
So the guy's wife was so jealous, his wife would not allow him to be
in the same room with a female.
Same room with a female.
And say you were going to go to a function, a remote, he couldn't ride in the same vehicle with a female.
Wow.
And this was back in the day when one or two people would go to a remote.
No kidding.
He'd have to be in a separate car.
We got to go. Don't forget, need to talk about DAVTAC just after 7 o'clock. Just after 8 o'clock, sorry. I'm in a time warp this morning. Wormhole. 7:57. Here's Hannity on KEEL.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I think Lindsey Graham is right. All of these Republicans that are pathetically weak, that if they don't get out there and fight, this is what the American people want and deserve. We deserve safety and security. That's what the president's fighting for, safety and security. The president's fighting life and death. You know, if 90% of our heroin comes in across that border, now add fentanyl to the mix, and then you add cartels and gang members, MS-13, and other violent criminals. All we're asking is come in legally. Give us an opportunity to vet who you are and show us that you'll be able to take care of yourself so that on average the American people don't have to pay the bill for 70,000 new people every year.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, guys, Valentine's Day is here. Whatever you're going to be doing for that very special somebody in your life, everybody that I know that has ever given Sherry's Berries, it's all the same. Wow. It is something everybody loves. You can't go wrong with Sherry's Berries. The biggest, the best, the juiciest, hand-picked strawberries dipped in milk white and dark chocolatey goodness. And it's topped with chocolate chips and heart and glitter sprinkles. It arrives in a beautiful gift box. Valentine's Day now a couple of days away. So send all your Valentines a gift of their dreams. And it's only $19.99. Sherry's Berries, the best strawberries dipped in milk, white, or dark chocolatey goodness. $19.99 shipping and handling. Order now, and you can really make it special, getting double the berries for only $10 more. Just go to berries, berries.com, berries.com, click on the microphone, and put in my last name, Hannity, when you check out. That's berries.com, click on the microphone, enter the code Hannity, and do it for the people you love this Valentine's Day.
Still keeping an eye on some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Sligo Road due to construction. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
KEEL Weather Channel forecast getting cooler through the day. We may stay in the mid-50s till tonight. The low could be in the 30s. Right now, 55 at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
Just past 8 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, and Miss Erin getting news together, local stuff. Coming up next, what you got?
Talking about the garbage fee, City Council could vote on it today. We'll have more on that. A former teacher accused of rape is due in court today. We'll talk more about that, too. And tragedy, 2 teenagers killed themselves at a local youth center.
Garbage fee, garbage tax. You say it's going to be more expensive. One of the council members yesterday actually suggested an increased sales tax to cover garbage stuff.
Yep.
Did you hear about that? What's the latest? What happened at the meeting? We'll talk about that next. Plus Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather. It's all coming up this hour right here on KEEL.
Report now on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Shreveport City Council members debating the proposed garbage fee. Grayson Butcher says he's just not ready to vote on it just yet.
Where I'm at today is I'm at a stepping off point, backing up and saying, hey, we may need to regroup here, but we need to do it with urgency. I mean, we can smell the smoke in the house, but we may not need to be running out right now.
The mayor wants an $18 monthly fee. There's an alternative of $13 or $14, and another measure calls for a $5 monthly fee, the item expected to be delayed during today's meeting. A former teacher accused of rape is due in court today. Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due in a Bossier courtroom. The judge looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary. Some of the assaults allegedly happened on the school campus. Norcross facing charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. 2 teenagers commit suicide at an area youth center. Matt Parker with that.
A 17-year-old and a 13-year-old, both from Bossier Parish, have committed suicide at the Ware Youth Center in Red River Parish. According to the Sheriff's Department, both teens used bed sheets to hang themselves. Investigators don't believe there is any connection between the 2 deaths and say it's just a terrible coincidence. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. Victim named in a Bossier shooting. Richard Williams named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier over the weekend. He was apparently intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. He went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door trying to break in when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. At this point, no charges have been filed against the homeowner, and the DA is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. The U.S. Supreme Court has blocked the Louisiana law that its opponents say could have left the state with only the Shreveport Clinic authorized to provide abortions. Attorney General Jeff Landry says the law requires the doctor at the clinic to have admitting privileges at a local hospital.
If you go into any to see your doctor and he administers a procedure under which he puts you under some type of local anesthesia, any other procedure in the state of Louisiana that you go to, that doctor is required to have admitting privileges.
But this temporary stay does not end the case. The High Court is likely to hear a challenge to the law on the merits during its next term, which begins in October. Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards is not getting the financial boost he hoped would help pay for a teacher pay raise in his budget plan. For a fourth time, Republican House Speaker Taylor Barra block the income forecast changes for the coming budget year that economists are recommending and that the Democratic governor wants. We'll get details later today on an agreement to prevent another partial government shutdown, financing construction of new barriers along the border. According to the National Retail Federation, Americans will spend more than $20 billion for Valentine's Day. Fewer are spending money on Valentine's Day compared to other years, but spokesperson Catherine Cullen says those that are making purchases are spending enough money to make it a record-breaking year.
Those who are celebrating are really committing to the holiday and spending more.
Cullen says people are budgeting to spend on average $162. A Maine man is locked up for being married to 3 different women in 3 different states. Since he's in jail, he'll not likely have to buy Valentine's this year. One of the women, though, says he scammed her out of $20,000. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Tuesday morning traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some backed up traffic on Benton Road just north of Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. Richard Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884.
State Representative Lance Harris joining us on short notice this morning. Sir, good morning to you, Lance.
Good morning. That, and short notice is actually very true in this situation.
Let me ask you, there are some stories going around that the Republicans are not going to support a teacher pay raise this year. Is that false? I'm hearing that that's not true, not really what the story is.
Well, let me put it this way. That's the kind of stuff I step in the pasture when I am feeding my cow. That is absolutely ridiculous and false. And that sounds like a narrative that the people that want the speaker to accept the REC projection, and that's something they're putting out, which is absolutely false. That is not the case at all.
There's a piece on the Associated Press today that says the governor's not getting the financial boost he hoped would help pay for a teacher pay raise in his upcoming budget proposal. Republican House Speaker Taylor Barra, it says, blocked the forecast changes for the incoming budget year, kind of connecting Mr. Barra to blocking the teacher raise. Tell us what Mr. Barra is doing with regard to these revenue estimates, so we understand
Let me give you an example. If the REC accepts the projection that doesn't materialize, that creates a deficit because then the revenue doesn't come. Just like if you remember about 2 years ago, the governor called us into a special session because we had a $100 million shortfall, and then he wanted to use the rainy day fund to patch it up, which he got his way. We ended up with a $100 million surplus, by the way. But because the REC projections don't come to fruition, that creates a shortfall. So the Speaker is trying to be prudent as we go because this has happened to us the last few years. So just in the 75 days since November, the first REC projection the administration wanted the Speaker to accept, just in these 75 days, it's already been reduced by $60 million. Now, had the Speaker accepted that in November, we would be dealing with a $60 million shortfall in next year's budgeting process. So, that is what is going on here, is that there are some things in the economy that the Speaker is not comfortable with. And listen, it takes a unanimous vote set up that way for a purpose. There may be someone that disagrees with what the economists say and wants to take a more prudent route, or may want to take a more liberal route. It doesn't matter. But I'll compare it to you this way. What if somebody would have had the gumption like our Speaker now to object to some of the things the REC did under the previous administration, such as recognize non-reoccurring revenue and applying it to reoccurring expenses, which caused us a deficit.
So you guys are not against a teacher raise. You're going to push for that, correct?
Well, not again. I haven't heard anyone that's against one. And look, let me say this: the governor can write a teacher's raise into his executive budget that he presents to the body on the 22nd. And he may have to move some things around, but look, if he wants a teacher's raise, he can write that into his budget and present it to the legislative joint budget next week.
But you got
There's nothing stopping him.
Mr. Lance, you got your ear to the ground in your district and around the state. What kind of, I don't want to say pressure, but what kind of pressure do you and other legislators feel from the teachers' unions themselves about what they're willing to do, i.e. walk off the job if they don't get what they want?
Well, I haven't really sensed any pressure in my district. I think it's long overdue that we address a raise for the teachers. They hadn't had one in 10 years. The problem is if you do it on some willy-nilly numbers, guess what? That raise is reoccurring every single year from here on out. So if you spend $160 million next year and the revenue doesn't materialize, well, you have that same $160 the next year. So that's why I think people are taking it slow and going to look for a way to make it a sustainable and a prudent measure when we're talking about teachers' pay raises. There's a lot of different ways that we have to look at that, but I haven't heard one legislator on either side of the aisle that's against the teacher pay rate.
But the governor, the governor's proposing such a minimal amount. It's almost like spitting on the teachers. Are you worried about that?
Well, look, I'm not worried about that. I think that the teachers deserve anything that they can get. We'd like to get them to the Southern average. I know that's what some members are saying. But look,
you have to remember any raise that the state does, that the legislature does. Now, you need to think about this on a local level. If we raise the teacher pay by $1,000 or whatever it is, the locals have to match the retirement and health benefits and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So that's going to add about a 28 to 31% increase, of that on that $1,000. That's how much the locals are going to have to match. So some of these school districts are saying, give it to us in a grant, let us do it. These are the kind of things that discussions that need to take place instead of just saying, give me more money, I'm going to do a raise.
Lance Harris, thanks so much for joining us on such short notice. We appreciate it, sir.
All right, thank you.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Yes, Rusty Scarborough from Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park is just a couple of seconds away.
What's in the black box?
You don't need to know what's in the black box. You just settle down, young lady, put on the blindfold. Everything will be fine.
And Grayson Butcher is going to join us at 8:40 to talk trash.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Almost a traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some backed up traffic on Benton Road just north of Green Acres Boulevard in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're sure to weather good the Weather Channel.
.17 FM, 710 Keel Sports Update. Here's Timmy.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. Huge game for Will Wade's 17th-ranked LSU Tigers tonight. They pay a visit to 5th-ranked Kentucky, who shares a 9-1 SEC record with the Bayou Ballers. Kentucky is 13-0 at Rupp Arena, a place LSU has not won since 2009. Tip time is just after 6 p.m. You can catch the game on KWKH 1130 The Tiger. James Harden scored 30 or more points in his 30th consecutive game to lead the Rockets to a 120-104 win over Dallas and Houston. Harden pumped in 31. The last three, getting him over that 30-point hump, occurred with less than a minute to play. Mavs rookie Luka Doncic had 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. In high school girls soccer playoff action, Loyola advanced to the LHSAA Division IV semifinals with a 2-1 win over visiting Isidore Newman. Erin Campbell scored the first goal for the Lady Flyers, and senior Eliza Drummond netted the game winner. Parkway's girls were ousted in the D2 quarters by Neville 3-1. Maya Jackson scored for the Panthers. And top-seeded Byrd was upset at home by North Shore 3-2 in a Division I quarterfinal. Madeline Graham and Riley Walker scored for Byrd, who rallied from a 2-0 deficit to force overtime. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. That noise you hear in the background is not the owl that Rusty Scarborough from the Walter B. Jacobs Memorial Nature Park brought with him today.
Me and the owl are communicating.
You and the owl, no.
We are. We have a thing.
You're making owl noises.
I am.
I'm not sure the owl, what is the owl thinking right now when he hears Erin making those noises?
Rusty, does he think I'm nuts?
I think that's the majority of the room, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Rusty,
this interview is off to a great start.
This is a male owl?
It is. This is a male great horned owl.
Great horned owl. How old is he?
We don't know. This bird came into captivity as an injured bird, and it was already an adult.
Okay.
We've probably had this one for 4 or 5 years. I don't recall exactly. But it is a male great horned owl. In the birds of prey, the females are 1/3 larger than the males.
It's time for the 14th annual Owl Night at the Walter B. Jacobs Nature Park in Blanchard.
Right.
Correct? And that's this Saturday beginning at 5 p.m., runs through 9 o'clock. How many owls do you have?
We will have 4, our native, most common 4 species out on the trail with handlers, and people can walk the trails and really just be up as close as we are right now.
Okay, so why are owls so cool?
Well, owls have a lot of specializations in the way that they hunt. Since they hunt in the dark, they have very large eyes, and they have specialized feathers that allows them silent flight. And actually, there's just a really lot of things that we're going to do. At each owl site, we're going to have the 4 around the trail, and each one of those sites will specialize in one of the adaptations. So one will talk about camouflage, one will talk about hearing, one will talk about silent flight. One will talk about sight.
That GIF, the GIF on Facebook where the owl is on the fence and it starts to take off and just face plants into the snow. That doesn't happen very often. They're better than that.
Well, I'm not sure which one that is, but if it's a great gray owl, they live far up north in the snow-covered areas, and they actually hunt strictly by hearing. They have enormous facial disc which funnels the sound waves into their ears. And they hear mice running in snow tunnels, and they crash through the snow.
So that probably is what that is.
Yeah, it's probably grabbing a mouse out of the snow.
Does he have a name?
We don't name any of our animals at the park.
Okay.
I don't want them to sound like they're pets because they're just wild animals that can't go back to the wild because of their injuries.
When you got him out of his box, it comes in a black box. It's enclosed, so light doesn't get him, I guess. He was a little bit nervous. He was spreading the wings out, like trying to take. But he's calmed down now.
Yeah, sometimes the transition in and out of the box is a little nerve-wracking for them. But once they're out and kind of calm down,
So
just depends on the surroundings.
His head rotates. What is it? Not 360 degrees, but about 200 and what did you say?
280 to 300.
Like Erin's when her sons are in the back seat.
Right. Mammals have 7 bones in their neck. So even giraffes, they just are big bones. But birds have 12. So we can turn our heads about even with our shoulder. They can go past that shoulder and look over the other shoulder.
Now, you can't, when kids come to the park this Saturday, they're not going to be able to hold the owl or touch them, correct?
Correct.
Because they're not.
Did he just make a noise? I think
that might have been me. I don't know.
Did you have your honey bun yet?
But you have on a protective glove,
Yeah.
and you have him kind of on a leash, I guess we'd call it.
Yeah, we have cuffs and jesses on their ankles, which is one of the strongest part of a bird of prey is their legs. So we have cuffs and jesses on their legs and then a leash on them. And they can come up close and observe the owls and take photos, but they can't touch or pet or hold.
So when how fast do they fly? Are they fast?
They're not known for their speed. They're more of a stealth hunter.
Really?
Right. And so like on the feathers, they have like a little fringe on the leading edge. So it looks like a little microscopic comb, and that breaks up the air as they pass through the wind.
So they're pretty quiet that way, like a seal or something like that. And so I would assume when they catch something, they rip it apart. Is how.
Well, they have these very powerful talons that they have an extremely strong grip. So even if the talons don't puncture an internal organ to kill them, they can hold so tightly that the animal can't breathe and blood can't flow.
Are the owls out there at the park year round? You have them out there, and how are they housed?
We have an aviary, and so they. I heard on the radio a few days ago that you were trying to go to our local things to see.
Attractions,
and
yes.
so we've had this nice aviary with birds of prey for about 8 years now. So maybe
Boy,
that
it's
was
been
one
a
of the places
while,
that you
yeah.
So
should.
they eat mice, little rodents. They just little skunks you had mentioned because they don't smell very well.
Yeah, well, we have like
Or good, sorry.
Each owl eats a different type of animal. So great horned owls eat larger rodents mostly. So they're going to eat rats and mice and squirrels and rabbits. They do eat skunks. They are one of the major predators of skunks. But barred owls live in wet areas, and they usually eat reptiles and amphibians. So
Now
a lot of snakes and frogs.
mentioned their skill at camouflage. What eats owls, and who do they need to hide from, and how do they camouflage themselves?
Bigger owls.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a cannibalistic species.
Well, not specifically about great horns eating great horns, but great horns will eat eastern screech owls or barred owls. So in the bird of prey world, it's pretty much you don't have anybody that preys upon you unless it's a bigger raptor.
We've always heard as a kid that owls sleep all day and they're up at night. Is that a myth?
Well, depending on the owl, if they have yellow eyes, we largely say that they are crepuscular, so they're active.
Whoa. Ow, that hurt.
Yeah, so they're active at dawn and dusk. So as the
Okay.
sun is rising or setting. If they
that
have
doesn't
dark,
explain Erin's yellow eyes. But please continue.
and if they have dark eyes, like the barred owl or the barn owl, they're largely nocturnal at nighttime. So
Okay.
they're inactive and resting during the day, and then they're out actively
He
hunting
weighs
at night.
what, maybe 8 pounds, 10 pounds, maybe?
No, a really large female might go close to 3. This bird's probably around 2.
Since you mentioned that,
That's a female. No, that's a male, right?
Right.
how do they have babies?
They lay eggs.
What on earth?
They're egg layers. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean,
They
do
have
they?
virtually a round egg. They don't have really a tapered egg like
Okay.
chicken eggs. So a great horned owl will lay about 3 eggs, and we usually see 2 or 3 survive.
So run us down.
Can
once
I ask
again.
him one more dumb question?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Al's going crazy. Do they?
Well,
do they?
He objected to your question about the eggs.
Yeah, he's not listening.
How
He
do
didn't want to hear
owls
that.
do it.
That's what I want to know. Do they have? What? Do owls mate? Do they have a mating season? And
Yes, and
I
it's
don't
now. They're probably already on eggs right now. And,
oh, he wants me. Is that why he's getting crazy?
and
He wants
they
all of that.
yeah.
they do mate just like other birds. They put their cloacas together and
Whoa, cloacas.
cloacas.
Yeah.
Okay.
You thought that was that was a beach in Hawaii.
Do I have a
didn't you?
cloaca?
Yeah.
You do not.
I do not have a cloaca. Does Matt have a cloaca?
He does not.
Okay. Does he want one?
I couldn't answer that question.
Can he pay for one on Friday? Rusty Scarborough, Walter Jacobs Memorial Nature
This
Park, Big
Saturday.
Owl Palooza. Is what time again, please?
It's 5:00 until 9:00 at Walter Jacobs Memorial Nature Park. It's up in the Blanchard area.
Great
It
to
is
see
a
you as
beautiful
always.
place.
Thank you. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. So
cloaca.
Grayson Butcher will be. Stop it. Why don't you Google that and you'll stop? Okay.
No, then I'll get in trouble with the IT.
Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yes. Grayson Butcher, City Councilman, Sans Cloaca, joins us in less than 15 minutes. Right now, here's Ruben.
We have reports of a minor accident on Mansfield Road near 3132, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're Trina Weddick at the Weather Channel.
information. KEEL News now.
Two teenagers believed to have killed themselves within days of each other at a youth detention center in Red River Parish. 17-year-old died Thursday night, the 13-year-old on Saturday night. They were at the Ware Youth Center in Coshada. Each teen took his own life in separate incidents. The Mudbugs family mourning the tragic loss of Solon Peterson. The 13-year-old boy was a member of the Mudbugs youth hockey program and dreamed of playing goalie for the team. The Peterson family is a major part of the local hockey community, serving as officials at games and working as youth hockey coaches. The latest on the proposed garbage fee for Shreveport, well, a delay is expected today as the city council takes up the issue. One proposal calls for a $5 monthly fee, while the mayor wants $18. Mayor Perkins was asked what will happen if nothing is done.
If we have to try to supplement $8.5 million next year, considering inflation and healthcare costs alone, you're looking at a real cut of about 4%. So it's actually going to be a cut if we don't get anything passed. And yeah, we're going to have to look across the board at services.
Councilman James Green has also talked about possibly asking the voters to approve a quarter-penny sales tax. Perry Norcross, the man accused of sexually assaulting multiple victims under the age of 12, is due in court today. The judge is looking to get a status update on the case. Norcross worked as a teacher and coach at Benton Elementary. Some of the assaults allegedly happened on campus. Norcross faces charges of first-degree rape, child molestation, and video voyeurism. The victim's been named in a Bossier shooting. Matt Parker with that.
Richard Williams has been named as the man shot and killed outside of a home in Bossier City over the weekend. Authorities say Williams was intoxicated and went to the wrong home on June Lane. William went to a neighbor's house instead of his cousin's and was beating on the door and trying to break into the home when he was shot and killed by the homeowner. No charges were filed against the homeowner, and the district attorney is looking over the facts of the case to determine if the shooting was justified. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The race for the governor's mansion now just 8 months away, with incumbent Democrat John Bel Edwards currently set to face off in a jungle primary against Baton Rouge businessman Eddie Risponi and Congressman Ralph Abraham. Political analyst Bernie Pincinat says the race has been quiet so far, but is set to blast off soon.
30 days from now, 60 days from now, each month it'll increase probably twofold as far as the amount of money they're spending.
If no candidates get more than 50% of the vote in the fall primary, the top two will head to a runoff in December. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has told Louisiana's governor there was an error in the officiating that helped the Rams go to the Super Bowl instead of the Saints, but there's nothing he can do about it. President Trump told supporters gathered for a rally in El Paso that he's not giving up on his pledge to build a wall with Mexico. The president continued to insist that the barrier separating El Paso from Mexico had made the city safer, a claim, though, not supported by federal stats. And a jury has ruled that a Kentucky Fried Chicken franchisee must pay over $1.5 million to a former Delaware worker who said she was demoted because she wanted to pump her breast milk. She claimed co-workers and supervisors made it so difficult to pump during her shift that her milk supply dried up. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. This weekend, 2 hockey games this weekend. I mentioned that for a reason. Mudbugs are home against Amarillo, I do believe. and it's sort of like Mudbugs Hockey Mardi Gras. And the special guest is a pretty cool guy. They're sort of their grand marshal for their parade, if you will, at George's Pond at Hirsch Coliseum. Coming up this weekend is
Tre'Davious White.
Nice.
Former LSU guy, former Shreveport guy. Well, Shreveport guy.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And founder of the Tre'Davious White Goalie Academy of Louisiana.
See, this is
That's the best.
No, I'm being totally serious.
I know.
If you haven't seen his incredibly well done, funny, tongue-in-cheek
so funny.
videos,
Mhm.
well, evidently Tre'Davious White from LSU gets up to Buffalo to play for the Bills and becomes a hockey nut.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, did all these hockey videos where he bills himself as the greatest
hockey player to ever come out of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So he will be, it's all over YouTube. We'll put some on the...
They're already on the website.
Is he going to join us Friday morning?
We are efforting. Hopefully he will be in town
cool.
at that point. And if he is, he can join us on Friday morning.
That'll be cool.
But it's going to be a great weekend for the Mudbugs and special jerseys and just basically Mardi Gras at George's Pond at Hirsch
Love
Coliseum.
that.
Who's
Grayson Butcher, city council member, going to talk with him next about the trash fee, what he's leaning toward, what he thinks is going to happen
Another
today.
meeting today. Another meeting today.
Mhm.
Big meeting today, and we'll see what G. Beasy has to say.
You bet.
Traffic update right now. Here's Ruben on Keel.
We have reports of a minor accident on Mansfield Road near 3132, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline at 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're Trina Weddick at the Weather Channel.
.101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. How many radio station shirts do you have at home?
Oh, I've got one from everyone.
Do you?
Yeah.
I've got like about 50.
I've got them in the boxes,
I've
though,
got-
in the attic.
I was just wondering because you're wearing an old Keel shirt this morning.
Yeah, I save one from every station.
So you must be heavy into the I need to do laundry phase if that one came off the shelf.
Yeah, this one's hanging in the closet.
I
'cause
don't
it wasn't
even
wrinkly.
remember that logo. It's so
Really?
weird. No.
It is
no.
old. You're right.
Shreveport City Councilman Grayson Butcher is here. Hey, Mr. Grayson, welcome back to Keel. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Robert and Erin. How are you?
The trash fee, clean
Tell us-
city fee.
Tell us about yesterday. Tell us what you expect today.
Well, yesterday was I think very productive. I'm not quite sure where today will go. I don't think that it will proceed at this point as the way that it's written. I think that myself and several other members of the council just still have some questions. We had some dialogue with the mayor yesterday and asked him some more questions. And I think my concern is this. You know, we're going to be freeing up about $8.5 to $8.9 million in the general fund. Besides just saying it's going into reserve, I would like to know what the mayor's plans are for that additional money. And I'm not against having a reserve. We've got to. I mean, we've got less than 1% in reserve. I tell people all the time we're one lawsuit away from being broke. So we've got to do something, but I would like to at least have a plan in place.
So when you say to the mayor or the mayor's people, as it were, so we're going to free up $8 million, what you going to do? What is their response?
Well, at this point, we're going to put it in reserve, and we'll have a plan. And to move it, we'll have to go through a budgetary process and approval of the city council, which is great. But if we're in that critical of a need for this 8.5, 8.9, I've heard 2 or 3 numbers, then we need to know exactly what the money's going to be spent for.
Pardon me, Grayson. Let me rephrase the question. Let me try again.
Okay.
When I said to you, what do what do the mayor's people say? Do you think they know what they want to do with it and aren't telling you? Or do you think they really haven't thought it through, or what exactly?
I think either answer to that question is not a good answer. I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Is there any proposal that you could vote for today?
There's some talk going around. Councilman Fleury has presented $5. Councilman Nicholson has presented $13. I could be somewhere in the middle of that probably, but it would have to be with the provision that we go back to the Finance Committee and look for more long-term solutions. Most of the people that have called me in my district have asked, Grayson, why are we not going out for a vote on this? Why are you not taking this to the people? Regardless if you want to call it a fee, which it really is legally. We've had, legal has looked at it and told us it is a fee. However, to a lot of people, whenever you're mandating pay something without an opt-out, in their mind, it's not. It's a tax. Mm-hmm. So, I believe that taxation with representation is the best way to go. But we are in a critical situation. We need to shore up our reserves because I'm very concerned about only $3.1 million.
When you said long-term solutions, do you mean, is that sort of a buzzword for cuts or major restructuring? What exactly do you mean?
I believe that there's actually threefold. I think that we definitely have to look at some cuts. The mayor mentioned yesterday, whenever we were questioning him on it, he said, we're going to have to do cuts, and that's great. I mean, we do need to cut some of our spending. There's no doubt. We're top heavy in a lot of departments. John Settle wrote an article. I'm sure you saw it about the number of parks that we have, and some of them are in disrepair. There are several things that we need to look at cutting. Maybe, recycling was something that we talked about. We're paying $2.50. The city's paying, well, actually, the citizens are paying $2.2 million a year for recycling, and we're not sure if it's even being recycled. We know it's being picked up and taken to Pratt, but we're not sure what happens to it from that point, other than the waste is going to a landfill in DeSoto Parish that we're not even getting tonnage for. So, I mean, we have a lot to look at, and I tell people this all the time. Just bear in mind it's only been a month and 12, 13 days now that we've been in office, and there's a lot to look at. And I can promise you that this council is. My wife tells me all the time, you're going to have to go to your real job because we're going to be broke. So I can tell you this council is working very hard to get the answers that we need. But yes, I think restructuring, looking at our tax system, looking at how we tax, all of that has to come into play.
Grayson, a couple of seconds ago you said, we're looking at cuts, and that's good. We had Ben Riggs here earlier this morning, and he said practically the same thing about cuts, but he said, well, if the mayor, if we don't get this fee, talking about Adrian now, if the mayor doesn't get the fee, we're going to have to cut. And I read between the lines, his inference implication was that that's horrible. Which of those two is it?
Well, to me, if it's responsible and thoughtful cuts, I mean, there's no doubt. If you look at the city budget, there is overspending. There's no doubt about it. And we have dug into the budget. We have an external audit that's going to be coming up pretty soon in the Finance and Audit Committee. I'm not talking about going in and, of course, if you go in and start shutting down fire stations and firing police officers and doing hiring freezes and things like that. What I'm talking about is cuts of services that we're not really using or additional part. We got 4 people doing one job. So, I mean, I guess it's all for perspective. I think the mayor intended yesterday for it to be more of a tactic of, we're going to cut and to be fearful. But no, I think that's what we need to do. That's what my constituents are telling me. Hey, look at cutting some of the fat out of this budget.
Grayson, that you're new on the council. I can see in 3.5 years, your opponent is going to have a field day with you and the others. You get into office, and the first thing you do is raise a fee. Does that bother you at all?
I was elected to do what's best for the city of Shreveport in my district. It bothers me, and I have some people that would tell me not to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If I do the right thing and I get Shreveport on track, and I continue to be a voice for my constituents, regardless of how it is, I'm only looking at 4 years. I'm not looking down the road. Of course, if things work out, I want to be the councilman for 8 years. But right now, all I can see is pass this vote today. And, are we going to be able to make it through the year? Are we going to be able to build our surplus up? That's all I'm really looking at right now.
So what's going to happen? What's going to happen today? Do you think it's going? This is not going to be wrapped up today, is it?
No, I think we'll be talking. In my opinion, I would like for it to be wrapped up where we can move forward. But I don't think that we're going to be on the same page with the mayor at this point, and it just depends on if we can put something together before 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. So no, I mean I would rather us get to the work of the city, getting our employees a raise, getting some cuts in place, starting to look at long term planning. But I think we'll probably be talking about this next week.
Public wants to address the council today. They still have that opportunity?
Of course. They need to be there at 3 o'clock, and I think you can go online now and fill out a slip if you can't be there before 3, but you need to have your request in by 3 o'clock. But, of course, we'd love to hear what people have to say.
Grayson Butcher, Shreveport City Council member, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank y'all, and have a good morning.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic now. Here's Ruben.
We have reports of a minor accident on Mansfield Road near 3132, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71. We're True to Weather, Good the Weather Channel.
So I should try vodka and ginger ale.
Ginger ale is the perfect mixer for alcohol.
Really? Not a ginger ale fan.
Jack Daniels and ginger, Jameson and ginger, vodka and ginger. You name a liquor. Jim might not be so good, but you name a liquor that I drink.
Gin and ginger sounds like this. Well, they did mornings next door. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, so what's going to happen today?
I think it's going to be postponed for 2 weeks.
Postponed meaning the debate will continue.
Yeah, the debate will continue for 2 weeks. They'll try to hash out, because even if it's going to be an enterprise fund, they can't vote on that today. They've got to lay that over for 2 weeks.
I just, what what Councilman Butcher just told us, that there's just so many, in my mind, structural things that you could change that would affect the amount you need. In other words, let's say theoretically that the city decided that the council voted, maybe the city needs to get out of the commercial sanitation business.
Yeah, but Ben said that's a drop in the bucket. He said the vast majority of our sanitation
but they want
residential.
18. Of course he does, but he wants 18. You know what I mean? I understand that, and he may be right, but the mayor wanted 18. Well, now he said he might go for 15. So they want as much as they can get.
Yeah.
Because they want to shore up. At the end of the day, I think, and I'm not saying this is right or wrong, I don't know. It just depends on what is your political stance. How much money, it's what I said to Matt earlier. Let's say that you match. What's the amount that comes out of the general fund? $8.4 million?
$8.4 million.
$8.4 million a year is what it takes. Let's say $8.5 million to run the sanitation department. So now we need to come up with a new $8.5 million. Maybe a little more. Okay? So no matter what you come up with via the fee, you're now going to have a free $8.5 million.
You could put it in the reserves.
And the debate is what is that going to be used for?
It must go to the reserves.
But that's not.
The mayor says that's what he's going to do with it.
With the vast majority, they were also, if we get this, we might be able to give police officers. They were throwing around a lot of ideas.
Already. Well, we've got $8.5.
You cannot start spending that $8.5 million now. You must put it in the reserve. The parish commission has $150 million in the reserves. We have, I think the number, it's at 1%.
So if you're Councilman McCarty, Councilperson McCarty.
Oh, I don't vote for anything unless you guarantee me, sitting right here, this $8.4 million is going to the reserves.
And isn't
you,
touched
Mayor Perkins, must guarantee that to me before I vote green on any fee increase.
Back tomorrow morning, 6 till 9, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Kim Commando.
In Barcelona, the world's largest mobile show will take place in about a week. Get ready for new phones with 5G, foldable designs, and multiple cameras. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update. For extended interviews and tech news, get my Commando podcast available on Apple, Google, or wherever you do get your podcasts. With smartphone sales stagnant as people hold on to their devices longer, phone makers are unveiling new models. Samsung's hoping that its foldable Galaxy will be the future. It's a smartphone when closed, and when it's fully opened, it turns into a tablet. But Huawei is set to announce a foldable phone too, but theirs supports the new 5G networks. And the company's Honor phone has a 48-megapixel camera. Speaking of, LG is banking on 3D cameras that can scan your face for security and access to your phone. And what about Apple? They'll announce the new iPhone in June. This gives them plenty of time to get inspiration from their competition for a foldable iPhone. I'm Kim Commando.
For years, I've been telling you about my printer of choice, the Epson EcoTank 4750. And it's easy to tell you why. It's revolutionary, it's wireless, and a complete all-in-one printer that's 100% cartridge-free. Now, I don't know about you, but I used to hate having my print jobs interrupted just to replace an ink cartridge. Now, there's no more hassle with the Epson EcoTank 4750 because it comes with up to 2 years of ink right in the box. That's enough to print up to 11,000 color pages, and that's equivalent to about 30 ink cartridge sets. If I had to go buy 30 cartridge sets, that would cost me about $1,500. I love my Epson EcoTank printer, and I know you will too. And from now till March 31st, buy any EcoTank printer at epson.com/EcoTankKim and get free overnight shipping when you use promo code EcoTankKim at checkout.
Offer valid within the 48 contiguous states. Exclusions apply, subject to availability.
We have reports of a minor accident on Mansfield Road near 3132, and we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Well, caution advised on area lakes through the day today due to gusty northwest winds. Partly cloudy, 57 this afternoon. A clear sky tonight, low 36. Sunshine tomorrow with a high 63. Clouds and gusty winds on Thursday. Thursday's high 71. Try Friday, 71.